How do I say this? There are a lot of JRPG series out there you can get into. There are so many genres and stories and styles made by a plethora of different developers and studios. It can be overwhelming for newcomers that are interested in diving into vast worlds filled with unique characters drawn in beautiful art styles with well-crafted stories tying everything together. You have your Final Fantasies and your Kingdom Hearts and your Dragon Quests and your Personas, but there's a little series I'd like to talk about today. That is, in my opinion, the best series to start for a JRPG newcomer. The Tales series. It's Tales Tuesday, and this is why Tales of Zestiria is the best game for JRPG newcomers. Let's get straight to the point. Tales of Zestiria is the 15th mothership title in the Tales series. The first question you may be asking is, 15th? What about the 14 before it? Well, the good news is that none of the Tales games are connected in terms of story, unless it's a direct sequel like Tales of Destiny 2 or Tales of Xillia 2, so you don't have to worry about missing any story from previous games. And that's the great thing about the story of Zestiria. It's very straightforward in terms of JRPGs, and it's easy to understand and follow for newcomers. You are Saray, a small-town village boy with practically no interaction with the outside world. You are suddenly tasked with saving the world from the Lord of Calamity, Heldoth, who is spreading an evil malevolence across the continent of Glenwood. It sounds like a lot, but don't worry, you will get lots of help along the way. The characters that are alongside you and your party will help you understand the game and your surroundings, and in battle, there will be a great bit of help. The Tales of Zestiria battle system works in a party format, like most JRPGs do. You have 4 characters in your party with unique skills and abilities that, in single player, and the game can also be played in co-op multiplayer, are controlled by AI to help you. You, the player, perform moves and combos to attack enemies. The battle system overall is very straightforward for new players to understand, grasp, and pick up quickly. You have 4 sets of strings of combos, each binded to a direction on the control stick. Speaking of control sticks, did I mention the game is for the PS4 and PS3? So the game is on very popular consoles, so you don't need to buy some older generation system like a PS1 or a PS2. Anyway, back to the combat. You can string a combo of 4 together depending on the amount of spirit chain points you have. You can extend combos based on how much you have in your blast gauge, and you can also perform mega and ultra powerful attacks that are a staple in the Tales series called Mystic Arts. If you love beautiful cutscenes and animations in battle, the Mystic Arts definitely supply you with that, and there are many to use for many different characters to see for yourself. That's the bare bones of the combat system, but there's so much more to explore deeply in the game, like armatization. But I will leave that for another time. The music in Zestiria is absolutely incredible. All beautifully crafted tracks that fit each scenario flawlessly. The opening track is, and I always will think this, the best opening of any video game I've ever played so far. It's a powerful, strong song, and it leaves you with that desire for adventure that not many games could instill in me. Another example, I was in love with the theme of the very first dungeon. This is the very first dungeon of the game you come across. It is very strong and very powerful, and it's just really magical to me. Here's a listen. Isn't that a very strong theme to start the game off with? It's the first dungeon theme of the whole entire game, and this is a 30 to 40 hour game you're going to be dealing with, so imagine all the different types of music you'll be hearing, from boss battles to simple overworld exploration themes to battle themes, etc. And that's how Zestiria captured me in the Tales series as a whole. Its powerful openings and strong soundtracks really fill me with excitement when I play each one. I will be discussing Tales of Zestiria a lot more in depth at a later date, so stay tuned. And that basically all makes this game practically a great starting point for JRPG newcomers. The story is nice and simple, the combat isn't difficult to grasp, and it's easily accessible and is currently, as of July 2018, around a $20 price range in your local game store or on Amazon. But if you're still not convinced, I asked a friend of mine about his experience with Zestiria being a new fan of the series. Although he is experienced in other JRPGs, he gave an extra point of view on his thoughts of the game in its early stages. He says, and I quote, "So with Zestiria, it's probably better for RPG newcomers in general, since the game progression feels pretty streamlined and nothing about it is too overwhelming. So, while RPG veterans can still enjoy it, it's especially good as an overall gateway. So I'm definitely willing to see if any other Tales games really hit home with me." That's a very good point that he brings up. I feel that Tales of Zestiria is a really great opening for JRPG players that want to get into the genre, and he explains as well that it can be really good for RPG newcomers in general to get into the game. And I agree with him. You can only really go up from here. The rest of the Tales series is a true goldmine of amazing characters and stories, all combat systems that are different and unique from one another, so you're not playing the same game over and over again. Also, the stories are more intense in the other games, and overall you get a better experience. You won't feel like it's a downgrade in any sort of way. Except Tales of Legendia. We don't really want to talk about that though. I made this video for that confused gamer that wanted to expand his or her horizons in search for a new type of game, and I feel Tales of Zestiria is the perfect one for you. I hope you love it just as much as I do. This video took a lot longer than I expected to make, but I hope you all found the information I had useful. This was the second installment of my Tales Tuesday series of videos on my channel. Thanks for watching. If you want to see my last Tales Tuesday video, where I talk about what I want to see in the next Tales game, Tales of Entertaria, make sure to click it on screen.